A 9-year-old girl, a 6-year-old girl and a 7-year-old girl, now confirmed, all died as a result of that stabbing attack.
It's like a nightmare, the biggest horrific thing you could ever witness in your life.
At this cordon, we've not just seen a police presence, but people from the community impacted by this attack. Some are laying flowers, others are asking questions about how this could have happened here.
They were there purely for hooliganism and thuggery in terms of bringing that level of violence and that behaviour onto the streets of Southport. We've seen the very best of this community this morning when they've all been pulling together to support each other, to put right the damage that has been done.
It was like a war zone.
The prosecutor said naming him would reduce the risk of misidentification of others who might be subject to violence, as seen in the recent disorder.
Thank you, Serena, for joining us on screen. I know you're really... And to be absolutely clear, this is not protest. This is violent disorder.
Anyone who engages in this kind of disorder needs to be clear that they will pay the price.
I was hit in the head by a bottle actually, but we had our helmets on, so that was all fine. We've seen punches being thrown as well, big scuffles, and this is where we had a lot of the problems earlier. This is the counter-protest. You can see the numbers here really do outnumber those right-wing protesters. This is becoming really... This is the most aggressive we've seen it so far between protesters.
Police now are targets because we've seen police officers in cars come in this direction have to reverse very quickly when they've been noticed by the groups of people who have heading in their direction. In fact, one of those police cars had their window smashed out.
I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we've seen this weekend. Be in no doubt, those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law.
Downing Street lit up pink again. At the beginning of this week, Sir Keir Starmer no doubt thought that his role this week would be to play a part in the grieving process. That has changed significantly now into what is probably Keir Starmer's biggest first test as Prime Minister. Such is life when you're running the government.
Are we going to end two-tier policing, sir?
What's happening across Britain isn't yet on the scale of the 2011 riots in terms of the number of people involved, but one factor makes it already worse: human targets, the fact that this is fueled by intolerance.
We're here in one sense trying to promote a happy remembrance for those children, and then they're seen on the news, there's other things going on, and it's soul destroying.
But I think
apologies for the language you're hearing, but a sense of anger I think you can hear there.
There are 30 or so riot officers on either side of this main road in the centre of Plymouth. They are doing their best to keep these two groups separate as the tension rises.